Okay, story time. So, I very frequently lucid dream, and this one happened a number of years ago, actually. I'm surprised I haven't done a video for it yet. So I was in this dream, and I started off in this grand ballroom with big white stone marble pillars, and it was pretty empty though. The only thing that was in this place were a bunch of clothing mannequins that had different outfits and different hanging outfits on clothes racks and things like that. And attached to all these outfits were these tiny little like drawings and photographs of people, and I had this feeling that these were people that had died and these were their favorite outfits. And it was just this big collection of all of these people's favorite outfits. So I started following the trail of all these outfits on display, and it led out of the building and down a forested hillside that led to this site at the very bottom where a very wizardy Gandalf-like person was there. And it seemed like there was a clearing for, like, you know, I don't know, fucking witchy stuff. Anyways, so I got to the bottom and I'm like, this is the end of it. Now what? And the Gandalfi person with their staff was like, now you must carry them and their stories back with you up the hill safely, but it will not be easy. And I'm like, what? Why? And then the wind started to pick up and there was a storm about to brew, and I'm like, oh shit, I better get going. So I start trying to trek up this mountainside and everything's getting in my way. I tried taking this bicycle I found, but it broke down and got its wheels stuck in mud. And then the branches were grabbing at my clothes. And the clothing started to whip around like it was trying to be alive to grab me. And I was having a lot of trouble getting back up this hill. Eventually I get back up the hill into the building so there's less wind. But now I can see that the spirits of the people are possessing these clothing mannequins, and they're starting to like walk towards me, and I'm like, this doesn't feel good. This is a little bit scary. Why what's going on? So I start running through this big ballroom and heading towards the grand staircase that has a door at the top. And as I'm going, there's this one mannequin that has like legs, so it's gaining on me and it's walking after me, and I'm like, okay, let's get up here. And I get to the door, and the door is like it's like a screen door sort of. It's not a very powerful door, so I could probably like break it if I really tried, but it's kind of caught. And I'm like, I don't know if I have time. He's like at the top of the stairs. And so like I turn around and I'm like, okay, what do I do? Buy time. Maybe they're friendly. Maybe they aren't evil. Maybe I'm just getting a weird vibe. So I stood there, and it got up the stairs and it stopped in front of me, and I'm like, hi? Just like that. And then it has this one like broken off at the elbow arm, and it like pointed it at me, and it had like exposed wiring and stuff like that. And I'm like, and I looked at it, and then all of a sudden this clear liquid shoots out at me, and I can hear my skin start to sizzle and melt. It was acid. And I'm just like, oh god, and I'm screaming. And as I'm screaming and falling to the floor, it's weird because I feel and see my own self fall. And I look down and I see my body writhing in pain and then drop dead at my feet, and I'm like ghostly see-through, and I'm standing there and I'm like, I just died. And I'm still in my dream, because I was lucid dreaming this whole thing. Like, I was totally in control and realizing I was dreaming. And I'm like, I just died. I'm supposed to wake up, aren't I? I don't know if this has ever happened to someone before. And I was like, okay, what do I do? And I'm like, oh, this is like Alice in Wonderland. I can go and I can like travel around and explore and see if I can like jump into different dreams and like shape this world to my heart's content, and I can fucking stay here. And then this consciency voice in the back of my mind was like, if you don't wake up now, you never will. And I'm like, oh, okay, well. And this is crazy because like I think this must be like your like survival instinct kicking in, because I mean, stay in a dream world forever. Now that I think about it, totally I want to stay. I'm never waking up. This is like a hands down, like it's not even a question, like I'm staying. But apparently I wanted to live yet, so I was like, huh, okay, I guess I should wake up now. And that was like my mental decision to wake up, so I woke up. And I was like face first in my pillow, and I was like barely like getting any air, and I'm like, oh, whoa, oh shit, was I gonna die if I didn't let myself wake up like I probably should have, because I was suffocating myself? And I just sat there, kind of leaned on my pillow, thinking, okay, that was a thing. So anyways, be careful if you lucid dream. You might like stay asleep longer than you're supposed to and like fucking kill yourself, or, you know, fall into a coma or some shit, you know. Sometimes you hear about those mysterious things like, for no reason someone fell into a coma and they never woke up, and you're just like, that sounds really weird. Like there's got to be some weird medical thing. Maybe someone was just fucking like lucid dreaming and then just never woke up because they decided to stay, and then that's the fucking consequences. Now you're a vegetable. Anyway, so that was my dream. It was a fun dream. I haven't really talked to anyone yet that has said they've had a similar experience of dying in their dream and continuing the dream. Especially not someone who lucid dreams. Like that's specific. Sometimes you can have really weird dreams, like where you wake up but you're just awake in the dream, and then you wake up again and you're still in the dream, like layers of dreaming. And those are kind of interesting. So I figure like maybe the reverse must be possible, to like feel like you die and then not wake up. Like maybe there's a part of you, like especially when you're lucid dreaming, that realizes that it's not real, so that jerk to wake up doesn't kick in, because you're like, this is a dream, it's fine. And that's where I think the mind has got some crazy potential, because if you are able to thwart that instinct, that reflex, if you can fight that with fucking like realization that you're dreaming, that logic that this is a mental reality, then it gives you a lot of power and control over your own autonomy. And I think that's really intriguing. So that's my unique experience with lucid dreaming that I think I'd like to know more about, because geez, there's a whole world in there, you know. Alright, and I've had people say to me on a couple of occasions that before they met me, I was in their dreams. Like they remember that I was in their dreams. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting. I've never met you before this, and you've told me now that you've seen me in your dreams from like years ago. And I'm like, interesting. Anyway, so maybe I do some wandering. Alright, well, anyways, peace out. Thanks for joining me for this dream story. Bye.